Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday, only here on Top Shelf Oldies. Want to welcome you to the October 29, 2016 Vinyl Treasure Show. It's my all 1960s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show, and also for those of you who tuned in to Tom Deal's special airing, Hi-Fi Tim airing a special tribute to the late Bobby V. Cool tunes here on Top Shelf Oldies. John G here spinning only original vinyl 45s, and we opened up with the Electric Indian on the United Artists record label. Their debut single was a song called Kimosabi. Some of you may know that tune, number 16 on Cashbox, number 16 on Billboard. We just heard their follow-up, a cover of the Chris Kenner's song, Land of a Thousand Dances, second of five for the Electric Indian between 1969 and 1971. And they were a studio group that was assembled by Bernie Binnick, co-founder of the Swan label out of Philadelphia, PA. Now, a few of the members of this group, believe it or not, would go on to bigger and better things. And the piano player on that song was Daryl Hall of Hall & Oates fame. And the bass of the group was Tom Sellers, would go on to form the Assembled Multitude, not the actor, of course, and one more, Vincent Montana on Vibes. He would go on to form the Sal Soul Orchestra. This one charted, unfortunately, not well for them, number 95 on Billboard, and it was number 23 on WHLO out of Akron, Ohio from December 69. The Electric Indian on United Artists with Land of a Thousand Dances. Well, enough of my babbling here. Let's start it off with the vocal portion. And this artist from Brooklyn, New York, began his career in 1961 on the Swirl label, had other releases on Amcan and Imperial and the label that I'm featuring. This is the Tower record label. His real name is Warren Schatz, and he composed this tune and recorded it under the name Richie Dean. It's the first of four he had on Tower. We go back to September 64, Richie Dean on Tower, and his cool tune, a song called Goodbye Girl.
Don't need your love like you don't need my love, so leave me to say that we're through. We'll get along without each other now, so just leave me and find someone new. I want to cheat on a lie to then come back and cry.
Cool tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Johnny G getting caught off mic I apologize for that, but what a great tune that is. Really love that tune there by Richie Dean, September 1964, on the Tower record label, song entitled Goodbye Girl. When I was buying really expensive doo-wop records sometime in the early 1980s, forget whose house it was at, and he brought out this other box of records, and he goes, well, you just paid a whole bunch of money for a lot of rare vocal group records, but I got a box of 60s stuff, and I want 10 cents a piece for these records. So there were a couple copies of that 45 in there, so I ended up buying them all for about 10 cents a piece, plus other records in that box. But anyway, that's Richie Dean. Had other releases as he was actually the lead of other groups as the Petrified Forest on Fontana, the Warmest Spring on Parkway, and also a group called the Whispers on Fontana, and also the Shapes of Things on the Laurie label. But how about a twin spin on the Tower record label? And up next, a singer from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. His real name is Kenny JohnnyGs, and he was a member of a trio back in 1958 on the P&L record label. 45 I do have. Kenny, Frank, and Ray. Also recorded as Kenny Bo on the P&L label, and he had other releases on Laurie, Amy, Epic, and the label that I'm featuring, Tower Records. This is his second of two on Tower, arranged by Joe Renzetti. We go back to March of '68 for Kenny Chandler. Kenny Chandler on Tower. Give a listen to his tune. It's called Charity.
Listen here. Your eyes can make a man do crazy things, like answering the door when my phone rings. Come on and I love you. Come on and I need you. Come on and I want you. Please be my girl. What you do to me, girl, you move me. Charity, you're getting through to me, girl, you groove me. Oh yeah. They say that charity begins at home, but I'll be waiting for you all alone. Come on, I love you. Come on, I need you. Come on, I want you. Please be my girl. Charity, what you do to me, girl, you move me. Charity, you're getting through to me, girl, you groove me. Charity, what you do to me, girl, you move me. Charity, you're getting through to me, girl, you groove me. Charity.
March 1968 release there for Kenny Chandler. Kenny Chandler on the Tower record label. The second of two recorded on Tower Records, song entitled Charity. His real name is Warren Schatz, and he has his vocalist on some other records that I have featured. No, the Warmest Spring, I played their records. I think they have two on the Parkway record label. John G. babbling on here for an all 60s edition here on Top Shelf Oldies. We do it the last Saturday of every month. Let's continue here for this next artist, born in New York City, November 12th, 1943. His real name is John it's pronounced mouse, but it's spelled Maus. And from New York City, moved out to California in 1947, began learning saxophone, clarinet, and guitar. And then by age 11, he did some acting, and he became friends with Ritchie Valens. And he was the pallbearer at Ritchie Valens' funeral. And then he changed his name. He was 17 years old. He was unhappy with how people were pronouncing it. And he worked as a singer-guitarist with his sister in a duo. They were known as John and Judy. They have releases on the Aladdin label, Dore label, RV label, and Eldo label. I have some of those 45s. And then he met up with Scott Engel, and who was the bass in the group called The Routers, and they would form the Walker Brothers. But prior to being the Walker Brothers, this is a song that he wrote and arranged. It's produced by Donald Drowdy. Donald Drowdy of Dante and the Evergreens fame. Of course, I'm talking about Johnny Walker, not Jimmy Walker. That's the alcohol. Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker here. If we go back to July of 1964, it's on the Alamo label. Actually, Alamo International is the name of the label. And the name of the tune is called Beginning of the End.
So, do you need me? Well, if you need me, let me know. Oh, this will be the beginning of the end of all our stands. This will be the beginning of the end of our romance. Who do you love? Who do you dream about? Do you want me? Well, if you want me, tell me so. Do you love me? Well, if you love me, let me know. I dream of you the whole night through. I dream of you night and day. Now here's your chance, now that we're at this dance. Say the words I want to hear you say. Who do you love? Who do you dream about? Do you love me? Well, if you love me, let me know. Do you need me? Well, if you need me, tell me so. Oh, this will be the beginning of the end of our romance. This will be the beginning of the end of our last stand. Who do you love? Who do you dream about? Who do you love? Who do you
January 19, no, July 19, John G eating too much candy for Halloween, folks. July 1964 released their Alamo International Records there for that one. Johnny Walker and The Beginning of the End is the name of the tune. Actually, I bet you Donald Drowdy is singing in the background there for sure, making those kind of like doo-wop sounds, but I like that song. I really do. John G here for my all 1960s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's continue for this next singer. Formed a group called the Mustwangs that recorded on the Smash record label back in 1961 while attending high school in Harvey, Illinois. That really kicked off the Smash record label. His name is Robert Simiasco. And here he is leading a group called the Bobby Sims Trio with a song that he wrote. Really It's on the New Breed record label. Let's go back to, let's stay in the year 1964. This is the Bobby Sims Trio on New Breed and a song called And You're Mine.
I will give you all my love. Yes, you're an angel from above, and you're mine. Your love makes me feel so good. You give me everything you should, and you're mine. I never thought things would be so fine, but now I know I'll love you till the end of time. I never thought things would be so fine, but now I know I'll love you till the end of time. Please say you'll never change, and you treat me just the same. Then you'll always be mine. You'll always be mine. You'll always be mine. You'll always be mine.
From 1964 there on the New Breed. The New Breed record label. It's actually a sticker on this side. It says United Record Distribution. Then there's a phone number. I'll give you that phone number so you can call to order a copy of that. Oh, maybe they won't charge you. Maybe they'll charge you 10 cents for that one. That's another one I paid 10 cents for. But it's the Bobby Sims Trio. SIMMS, and Your Mine is the name of that one. Now, 1967, Bobby helped to form the Rotary Connection. Yes, he did, but there he was doing lead with the Bobby Sims Trio. John G here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue. Up next is a group out of Dayton, Ohio, and there was a clothing store in downtown Dayton, Ohio. It was called the Metropolitan Clothing Store, and this interracial group called the Jaguars landed a local TV commercial for this clothing store, but they took it to another level. It was played locally there, this commercial. They took it to another level as the lead singer of this group, his name is Nate Alexander, used the name of the store to compose a dance tune. And on the picture sleeve, this record comes with a picture sleeve, which I don't have. On the 45, it's on the Alco label. They actually show you how to do this dance. And it's from 1965. These are the Jaguars on Alco, and they are doing the dance called the Metropolitan.
Hey, everybody, we're gonna do the Metropolitan. We're gonna do the Metropolitan. We're gonna do it all as we want to do. Stick around and dig it, babe, to my story. Listen to me, and without a doubt, you'll realize that lovely lady, the joy it will bring. So shake it up, babe, let it shake now. Come on and let your hand out with me, darling. Do the boomerang, babe, we're gonna do the metropolitan. The metropolitan, baby. Metropolitan, baby.
A group called the Jaguars. There's apostrophe S after the R. There's a number of groups called the Jaguars. That's a 1965 release on the Alco label out of Dayton, Ohio. They're doing the Metropolitan. Johnny G here in the metropolitan area, actually the tri-state area, Westchester County here, broadcasting live from the, I'm not in the no static attic. That's where Dave the Rave has. I do have a no humidity basement though, but I am in the attic broadcasting live. We do it every Saturday here from 10 to midnight. Let's continue for this next artist, originally from Nashville, Tennessee. In the late 1950s, he was a member of a group called the Chargers. The Chargers that I have featured on my 1950s edition, 2 releases on the RCA record label in 1958. Was also a member of the Dinosaurs on the Rendezvous label, but he went solo in 1960 with releases on the Good Sound label, on Ray Star, on Little Star, and on Mercury, and this label that I'm featuring, Samar Records. And this is the B-side to his second biggest R&B hit, a song called Can You Blame Me? But let's flip the 45 over, a song that he wrote, and it's the B-side from August of 1966. I'm talking about Jimmy Norman on Samar. And give a listen to his tune. It's called This I Beg of You.
Talk to me, my love. Say you want me only, and hold me in your arms, 'cause my heart is lonely. Tell me that you love me true, such a love I never knew, so you never break my heart, will never part. This I beg of you, I beg of you, baby. This I beg of you, I beg of you. And darling, close your eyes, just don't dream of party. A crazy love like this has a way of starting. Gotta make you understand all the love that you command. I never have a lonely night, just hold me tight. This I beg of you, I beg of you. This I beg of you, I beg of you. Understand all my love that you command. I never have a lonely night, just hold me tight. This I beg of you, I beg, baby. This I beg of you, I beg of you, baby. This I beg of you, baby. I beg of you, I please, I beg, baby, please don't leave me. Can't you see it down on my knees? I beg of you, baby, I'm begging you, baby.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, August 1966, there for Mr. Jimmy Norman. Jimmy Norman there on the Samar record label, song entitled This I Beg of You. Now, you may know his biggest hit was a song called I Don't Love You No More. Came out on the Little Star record label, 1962, I think, 61 or 62. But he also later on did session work with Jimi Hendrix and Bob Marley. Unfortunately, we lost Jimmy Norman, November 2nd of 2011. He died from lung disease. He was 74 years old. We remember him here on Vinyl Treasures and Top Shelf Oldies. So let's continue here for this next singer by the name of Clarence Murray. Now, he is from Macon, Georgia, and he was the brother of Mickey Murray, who also recorded for this label, that being the SSS International label, one of the thousands of labels that your host Johnny G collects. Now, this is the first of 4 for Clarence Murray. This one charted regionally, number 21 on KATZ out of St. Louis, Missouri. We go back to January 1968. Clarence Murray on SSS International. Give a listen to his tune. It's called Baby, You Got It.
About to lose his mind, baby, you got it. Baby, you got it. And if there's anything that a man thinks about all of the time, baby, you got it. Baby, you got it. You got the kind of love that sets my soul on fire. You got the kind of love that
Yeah, liking that one there in the Top Shelf Oldies chart. That is Clarence Murray. Clarence Murray, January 1968, released there on the SSS International record label, song entitled Baby, You Got It. And Johnny G's got it. I got it every Saturday right here on Top Shelf Oldies. I got all the original vinyl. Well, not all the original vinyl 45s. I do try to work on those requests. Sometimes very difficult. I was looking through, it must have been about 10 boxes of 45s, and I pulled out so many. And you could ask Charlene, because I'm up here during the week and I get home late from work, and I just play A side, B side. This is good. Then I talked to Dave the Rave. I said, Dave, you know this record, blah blah blah. And then he knows a lot of the records that Johnny G does play here on the 60s edition. He's like, well, what is that record? So I ask him if he knows about the groups, and he's very knowledgeable, especially about those garage groups, because that's one thing I do have a lot of garage records, but I don't know much about the groups like I do on the 50s stuff. And a lot of this stuff is really, I've had it for years, and it's cool to research some of the cool stuff about these 1960s records. So let's continue for some more here as this next female soul singer from Detroit, Michigan, she was the younger sister of recording artist J.J. Barnes, who recorded for Fred Brown's McKay's label, and he was able to get his sister to also record on the label. She had her first release on that label, but this is her third overall release, which came out on the Coral label. Now I'm talking about Orthea Barnes as we go back to August of 1967 on the Coral record label. Give a listen to her tune. It's called I Never Loved Nobody, parentheses, like I love you. August 1967 there on the Coral record banner. Orthea Barnes is her name. Cool tune there, song entitled I've Never Loved Nobody Like I Love You. John G here spinning 1960s original vinyl scratchy records. Sometimes Johnny G is not too happy with those styrene presses. They play muddy sometimes, like that. The one I played earlier by Clarence Murray, that one there, those styrene records, when they get played a lot, they just don't sound good. But although that nice hard vinyl on the Coral label, that sounded a lot better. This one's going to play good. We're going to stay on the Coral record label. We're going to go, though, to March of 1964 for this group called the Exotics. They have some pretty nice records, sounding records that came out on the Coral label. One I recall that they do that's really good is called Manpower, but that's like 1961 or 60. This is from 64. It's actually their fifth of six they recorded on the Coral label. This one directed by Dick Jacobs, and this one charted regionally, was number 11 on WWIN out of Baltimore, Maryland. This one's from March 64. These are the Exotics on Coral, and their tune called Sad, Sad Song.
Oh, darling, I didn't know what to do. I nearly went out of my head at the thought of losing you. Yeah, 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 yeah. I tossed and I turned on my pillow, yeah, and I cried the whole night through. it struck me, and I knew exactly what to do. I sang myself a sad, sad song. I say it was a sad, sad song. I sang myself a sad, sad song. A sad, sad song. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if your new love, yeah, he turns his back on you, and you don't know, I say you don't know what to do. Hey, hey, hey. Don't come running back to me, 'cause then I don't need you. Throw your head down, let the tears flow, and this is what you do. Sing yourself a sad, sad song. Be sure that it's a sad, sad song. Sing yourself a sad, sad song. A sad, sad song. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sing about the blues, sad, sad song. And about the love that I had to lose. Sad, sad song. How you broke my heart. Sad, sad song. How you ripped me all apart. Yeah, 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 yeah. Sad, sad song. Be sure that it's a sad, sad song. Be sure that it's a sad, sad song. A sad, sad song. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sing about the blues, yeah. Baby, tell about the heart you had to break. Tell you how you broke my heart.
They're called The Exotics. The Exotics from March 1964, the fifth of 6 releases on the Coral record label. They really do some cool records on the Coral label for you collectors out there, so check out The Exotics. That one there called Sad, Sad Song. Hopefully John G playing some nice tunes that you're digging on here for the 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. We do it the last Saturday of every month. Let's continue here, and let's stay in 1964. This time for a singer born January 15th, 1942. He is out of Tyler, Alabama, but moved to Chicago around 1956 and sang with a gospel group. They were called the Royal Jubilees. But then he broke away for a solo career, and I'm featuring his debut single that came out on the Kent record label as we go back to July of 1964 for Johnny Williams. Johnny Williams on Kent. Give a listen to his tune. It's called Don't Ya Ever Forget It.
If the sun don't shine and the moon don't rise, I can find my way to my baby's side. Thunder, lightning, sleet or snow, you can count on me, baby, I want you to know. Baby, no, 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 no. Now they tell me Valentino was a lover man, but I go to the desert, count every grain of sand. For one little itty bitty kiss from you. Know it's true, yeah. 'Cause by the big oak tree, you heard me when I said it. I love you, yes I do. And don't you ever forget it. No, 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 no. Don't ever forget it, baby. No, 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 no. Now they tell me Valentino was a lover man. sand. For one little itty bitty kiss from you. 'Cause baby you're mine and you know it's true, yeah. 'Cause by the big oak tree you heard me when I said it. I love you, yes I do.
And don't you ever forget me.
No, 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 don't ever forget it, baby. No, 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 'cause I'm your man. Don't ever forget it, baby, baby, baby.
His name is Johnny Williams. Johnny Williams on the Kent record label. That one there from July 1964. Song entitled Don't Ya Ever Forget It. That's a cool tune there. Now, his as Johnny G loses his place now, he was known for more of a funky type sound later on. Actually, he had his biggest hit in 1972 on the Philadelphia International label, a song called Slow Motion. Had others also on the Twinite and the Bashy labels. They were much more funkier than that cool soul tune here. John G playing soul tunes out of his vast record collection. Let's continue. And this next lead singer, he is from New Haven, Connecticut, and I feature his earlier recordings on my 1950s and early 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Although his career has spanned well into the 1980s, and he's still performing today on the oldie circuit. Well, he was the lead of the Five Satins. Then in 1965, he formed a new group. He called them the Restless Hearts, had a number of releases, and here's one that he wrote that came out on the Atco record label. We go back to September of 1966 for Mr. Fred Paris and the Restless Hearts. It's on Atco Records. Give a listen to his tune. It's called Land of Broken Hearts.
Here she comes, the blushing bride. How I wish it was me by her side, holding her hand, being a wonderland. But I gotta go to the land of broken hearts and hide to see the sun goes down. Broken heart, the land of broken hearts. I see my time is running low. One more kiss and I'll go. I gotta go, hey, to the land of broken hearts.
September 1966 release there for Fred Paris, not with the Five Satins. Fred Paris with his new group at the time, Restless Hearts, that one there on the Atco record label. Song entitled Land of Broken Hearts, A Tale of Galloping Woe. As Dick Heatherton used to say when I used to listen to CBS FM here in the 1970s, mid-1970s, to listen to Dick Heatherton on the WCBS FM, played all the oldies. And Steve is making fun of my scratchy 45s. That is unfair, as that sometimes beggars cannot be choosy on a lot of these records, although you won't, I don't think you'll hear a scratch on this next 45. And I can't tell you much about the group, but it's their only release on Bob McGee's Rim label. And this is the intended A-side of the 45. And the interesting thing on this record is that the flip side of this 45 is by a totally different group. And I think it's an instrumental by a group called the Earthmen, a song called Space Mood. But this is the A-side of the 45, came out in 1966, and they're called the Boss Four. The Boss Four on the Rim label, a song called Walkin' By. Sounds of 1966 here on the 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. They're called the Boss Four. The Boss Four on the Rim label, Rim 2025. For you collectors out there, song entitled Walkin' By. Bought that one there a long time ago from a record dealer Barry Soltz out of the Bronx, New York. Got another rare record coming up later on in the show from Barry Soltz. Used to go to a lot more record shows back then, but Johnny G has been very busy with the girlfriend, with work, with traveling, so it's very difficult now even to bid on certain records on eBay, which I do from time to time. So let's continue with some more soul records out of Johnny G's collection. I love to feature this gal from Beaumont, I said it right? Yeah, Beaumont, Texas, discovered by Joe Barry. My favorite song by her is her debut single that came out on the Eric label in 1962, a song called Give Me a Break. Now, you all know her signature song from that same year, 1962, called You'll Lose a Good Thing, came out on the Jamie record label, but she had lots of other great recordings on different labels, not only Jamie, but Tribe and Jetstream. And this label that I'm featuring, the Atlantic record label. Now, this is her first of 8 releases she had on the Atlantic label. This is one that she wrote. It was number 65 on Billboard, number 35 on the R&B charts, and this was a big number 1 record on KATZ out of St. Louis, Missouri. Her real name is Barbara Linda Ozen. Barbara Linda Ozen is her real name, but you all know her as Barbara Lynn. We go back to November of 1967, Barbara Lynn on Atlantic, and her tune called This Is the Thanks I Get.
You're gonna leave me, and there are rumors, baby, yeah, it's another girl, yeah. I'll work my fingers down to the bone, yeah, to try to make you a happy home, yeah. So sad, yeah, makes me feel so bad. I wanna turn my head, baby, look up to people, but I'm so ashamed, so doggone ashamed, yeah. You know I'm ashamed, baby. Shame, yeah. But this is the thanks I get, yeah. This is the thanks I get, baby. This is the thanks I get, yeah, 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 yeah. Wonderful things, yeah. Wonderful things.
There's Barbara Lynn there. That's her first of 8 she recorded on the Atlantic record label. That one there from November 1967, song entitled This Is the Thanks I Get. Yes, John G here spinning 1960s. Let's continue here. We make our first trip over to the UK. And so did my Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to be playing the Washington Redskins tomorrow over in the UK. They're going to beat the Redskins. Yes, they are. But anyway, we go to our first trip over to the UK as this group decided to name themselves by this name because they played a lot of Chuck Berry tunes that have in their repertoire, a lot of their Chuck Berry tunes that they featured, hence the name the Rockin' Berries. Played one of their records a couple months ago. I forget the name of it because don't remember what it was, but here is their second of 5 that they recorded on the Reprise record label, and it's a cover song originally done by the Dovells on the Parkway record label, written by Jimmy Wisner and Billy Jackson. It features Jeff Turton on lead. Let's go to April of 65. These are the Rockin' Berries on Reprise and their rendition of the tune What in the World's Come Over You?
Why do you treat me like you do? and the girl across the way. You're not the type to carry news, 'cause what they say isn't true. What if the walls come over you? What if the walls come over you? What if the walls come over you?
Cover tunes here on the 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. They're called the Rockin' Berries. They're the Rockin' Berries. Jeff Turton on lead, April 1965. Reprise Records, a cover of the Dovells tune, What in the World's Come Over You? What in the World's Come Over the chat room talking about gambling. I wasn't talking about gambling. I just said they were going to win. I don't know if I didn't guarantee the win. Like Joe Namath guaranteed the win in that Super Bowl where they beat the Baltimore Colts. I remember that one. But John G's not guaranteeing win. I'm not a prognosticator. I may have. We're not going to go there. JohnnyGs spinning original vinyl. That's all I do for a Saturday evening. So let's continue here for the lead singer of this next group. He is from Dallas, Texas. And he had some parts on some major TV shows. Back in 1957, does anybody remember a show called Spin and Marty? It was in, I think, 1963-64, and also The Adventures. Oh, no, actually, it was 1957, Spin and Marty, and in 1963 and 64, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harry. And then in 1965, this lead singer formed a group called the Bostweeds, and he wrote and sang lead on the theme song of a 1965 film. If anybody ever saw this film, I did not. It was called Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. So North Dakota Bob, you'll have to check out that movie. But then he joined a group called the Persuaders, then a group called the Ted Neely Five, which brings me to this next group, and they had this lone release on the Liberty record label. Oh, they're called the Spice Rack, and the lead singer goes by the name of Lynn Reddy, and he also wrote this tune. We go back to December of 1968. Liberty Records, it's the Spice Rack, R-A-C-Q. The Spice Rack with a song called Would You Be There?
If I needed someone's help to show the way to love that lasts for more than just one day, would you be there to show me? To get lost underway. To be there. Be there to show me on my way. little more. I need to hear you say that love is here to take both night and day. Can I count on you to tell me? Finally hear you say that love is here to stay.
A group called the Spice Rack. The Spice Rack, spelled R-A-C-Q. And that is Lynn Reddy on lead. Their December 1968 release on the Liberty record label, Would You Be There? Johnny G knows you're there listening to my 1960s 45s. And let's continue here. Haven't heard this next 45 in quite a while. My Aunt Mary purchased this record in March of 1968 as this singer, originally from England, moved to the U.S. And he was not only a singer, but he was also an actor. So we just had an actor in Lynn Reddy. Now we have an actor in this artist. He starred in a lot of popular TV shows. I mean, I think it's just about every TV show that he probably played in. MASH, Soap, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, The Twilight Zone, Starsky and Hutch, Cheers, The Andy Griffith Show, Bewitched, Gomer Pyle, Three's Company, Lois and Clark, and 2 episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which of all those I did not see. And there are other shows and movies too. He was Warren Beatty's valet in that movie Heaven Can Wait. He was also in American Hot Wax and others, and he also was a voice actress. He was the Disney Studios Merlin, or at least the new Merlin, and he was also in the Smurf series for Hanna-Barbera, and he was also in Scooby-Doo. I think he played the Count Dracula in the Scooby-Doo, that voice, plus more. Now, he was a singer also, had 3 releases on the Warner Brothers record label. I think he had one more. I think it was on the American International one in 1970, I think. But he had 2 singles in 1968, one in 69, and this is his debut single, a 45 that my aunt purchased, like I mentioned. This one was this 45 was number 76 on Billboard, number 75 on Cashbox, number 15 on KFRC in San Francisco, California. Also did well on WING in Dayton, Ohio. This one from February 68, and I'm talking about Hamilton Camp. Hamilton Camp on Warner Brothers, and his cool tune, a song entitled Here's to You.
If I had it all, could I make it without you? If I did it all, is it worth it without you? If I had the world on my watch chain and the stars beneath my shoes, I ain't got nothing without you. How much is my time worth, baby, without you? Oh, isn't worth a dime, my honey, without you. If I spent my time coining yellow gold and all that it can do, I'm broke down, baby, without you. Well, I laid on the line, my honey, it's so true. Oh, you're part of my life, it's a half life without you. Home is not a home, there's no lifeline shining through. You're my lifeline, never knew. Oh, baby,
Yeah, that 45 brings back a lot of memories. My aunt's copy, it is all the grooves are white. And the bad thing about it is those stock copies, they are styrene, and they play with, if once they get played a number of times, especially if your needle is worn, they just sound terrible. I think the promo on that is a nice vinyl. I think I have a vinyl copy on that promo. Anyway, that was Mr. Hamilton Camp, February 1968. They like that one there in the Top Shelf Oldie Chap on the Warner Brothers record label. His debut single, a song entitled Here's to You, a song that he wrote. Unfortunately, he passed away October 2nd, 2002. Of an aortic hemorrhage, actually 4 weeks before his 71st birthday. But he left us with that great tune. John G here for a Saturday evening spinning 1960s original vinyl 45s. And here's a group from West Palm Beach, Florida in 1959. They started recording as the Ardells on the Dade record label. Then they changed their name to the Ardells. They spell it with an AR versus the letter R. And they had a few releases on the Selma and the Epic label. Then in 64, they once again changed their name to the American Beatles. And they had 2 releases on Morris Levy's Roulette record label. Now, this is the B-side to their second release. It features Bill Andy, A-N-D-E, on lead. We go back to July of 64. They're called the American Beatles. This is on Roulette Records. Give a listen to the B-side. It's called Hey, Hey Girl. Their group there called the American Beatles. The American Beatles there from July 1964. That's Morris Levy's Roulette record label. That is the B-side of the 45. Song entitled Hey, Hey Girl. Now, they would later on record as the Razor's Edge on the PAL record label. I'm sure many of you know that tune, Let's Call It a Day. But prior to that, they were known as the American Beatles. And let's keep with that Beatle theme for a little bit here. But earlier we heard from a group called the Exotics on the Coral label. That was Coral number 62399. I am featuring the 45 prior to that Exotics 45. It's Coral 62398 for this group from Bergen County, New Jersey. They were known as the Coachman 5, but they never recorded under that name. But they did record a budget album for the Coronet label called The Beatle Beat, which was not released as the Coachman 5. They released it as The Bugs. Now, there was already a group out of Omaha, Nebraska that was called The Bugs. They have releases on the Soma label. That is a different group. And maybe there was some type of legal ramifications for this group when that album came out. But there was a single that came out on the Coral label, and instead of calling themselves The Bugs or the Coachman 5, they used the name the Pacers, which is another name that other groups have used, but this group is called the Pacers, and all the songs on that album were like Beatles-sounding arrangements, but different words they were. So let's give a listen to the A-side of their Lone 45. We go back to March of 64. These are the Pacers on the Coral label with a song called You Got Me Bugged.
Got me walking in circles all over town, and everything that I do upside down. You got me bugged, and I don't know what to do. You got me bugged, cause I'm flipping over you. You got me saying sweet words that I never said. And every time that we kiss it goes to my head. You got me bugged, feeling fuzzy asking me. You got me bugged, why did you have to go and pick on me? There was never a girl before who could get under my skin. When I met you, I tried to fight it, but pretty baby, you win. You got me dreaming of all kind of silly things. You got me thinking of love and of wedding rings. You got me but I'm happy as can be. You got me but. Cause now, little ladybug, you belong to me. Now, little ladybug, you belong to me.
It won't be long. Yeah. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like It Won't Be Long, yeah, by the Beatles. But those are the Pacers, a.k.a. the Coachman 5, a.k.a. the Bugs. That one there from March of 64 on the Coral record banner, song entitled You Got Me Bugged. Hopefully Johnny G not getting bugged here for a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the tunes here. Let's continue. We continue here. And a couple of months ago on the 60s edition, I played the B-side of this 45 for this group out of Portland, Oregon. They were known as the Fabulons, and prior to this release, they were known as Tiki and the Fabulons. With a release on the Tower record label, they had 2 releases. This is the second release, and they were just called the Fabulons. So let's give a spin to the intended A-side of the 45, which is another cover tune. This one originally done by Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders, and one of the two, there are 2 different B-sides to The Game of Love on Fontana, and this is one of them. But this is being done by the Fabulons. We go back to August of 1966. It's Tower Records, the Fabulons, with their rendition of the tune Since You've Been Gone.
Well, things don't seem so right since you've been gone. Well, I can't sleep at night since you've been gone. 7 days a week, I think of you. What's my poor heart gonna do? Things don't seem so good since you've been gone. Don't feel the way I should since you've been gone. Sitting home alone, wondering what to do. Can't believe it happened, it's not true. What made you leave me alone? What did I do wrong? Things will be alright if you come back.
coming back to me. Since you've been gone, 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 since you've been gone.
Cover tunes here on the 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. They're called the Fabulons. The Fabulons. It's on the Tower record label from August of 1966. Their rendition of the Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders tune. Whoops. Shut off, record player. Wayne, a cover tune originally done by Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders, Since You've Been Gone. Jaji not going anywhere, not till at least midnight here for a Saturday evening. We are from 10 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Let's go out to the West Coast for this next 45. I don't know much about the group, but the label is the Canterbury record label. Has lots of sunshine pop sounding 45s, but what's interesting about this side of the record is that Gary Zeekley has a hand in writing this song, and he is one of the writer credits, and it's produced by someone by the name of Yodar Critch, if anybody knows who that is. So let's give this one a spin. It was released in August of 1967 for this group known as Young Stuff. Young Stuff. It's on Canterbury Records. Give a listen to their tune. It's called Poor Boy. Sunshine Pop sounds here on the Vinyl Treasure Show for a group called Young Stuff. Not the Young Stuff, just called Young Stuff. Flip side of that is completely different. If I play both sides of that record, you would never know that they were the same group. But anyway, that's the Sunshine Pop side from August 1967. They're called the Young Stuff. Poor Boy is the name of that one on the Canterbury record label. I think I have almost all the singles on that Canterbury label. I'm missing one or two. There's not many on that label, that is for sure. That's a styrene press that plays pretty nice, but let's see if this next styrene Tambourine Plays Okay. It's on the Epic label. We head to New York City for this next 45 on the Epic label, as this group had 5 releases on the Epic label. They were called The Third Rail. The Third Rail, which included Arthur Resnick and his wife Chris Resnick, and the lead singer, I'm sure some of you know, goes by the name of Joey Levine, although some people in our chat room don't think highly of Joey Levine. I do, because I do like the records that he did lead on. Now, this is the first of the 5 that was arranged by Al Giorgoni, and this one charted number 54 on the Billboard charts, number 53 on Cashbox, but a big number 2, a number 2 record on KBOY out of Medford, Oregon, and also was big on WINN in Canton, Ohio. We go back to June of 1967. This is The Third Rail on Epic, and their tune called Run, Run, Run.
Breakfast cause you'll be late. You tie like a hangman's noose. Ain't no time to drink it. You see you run, 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 run. Yeah, you run, 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 run. Stand on the corner and wait for the bus. It's late again. You start to cuss. The paper's filled with all bad news. Fat lady stares on your polished shoes. So you run, 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 run. Yeah, you run, 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 run. And the latest quotations from the New York Stock Exchange. Heart attacks up 2 3/4. Mental illness split 3-1. Ulcers up 1. General chaos. That's general chaos is up 1/4. The Great Society, unfortunately, is down 5 points. Down at the office, all is still. The boss is at a funeral. A note on the door, no work today. Our chief competitor passed away. So you run, 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 run. Yeah, you run, 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 run. Up in the morning at 8:30, you can't have your breakfast cause you're late. Tie like a hangman's noose. Ain't no time to drink it too. So you run, 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 run. Yeah, you run.
CBS and Warner Brothers, RCA, and all the others. Remember that song? That is the Third Rail. They like that tune there in the Top Shelf Oldies chat. The Third Rail. Joey Levine on lead for that one, June 1967. The first of 5 for The Third Rail on the Epic record label, song entitled Run, Run, Run. Now, Joey Levine, of course, would go on to be the lead singer of the Ohio Express and other groups. Was also the lead of Reunion. Remember the 45? I actually bought the 45, a song called Life is a Rock, which is if you listen to the album version, it goes on and on and on, and he mentions all these people in the history of rock and roll. Very interesting, the album version of that song. Anyway, John G babbling on here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue here for this duo of twins from Port Jervis, New York, had a big hit in 1958 on the Decca record label, a song called When. You remember that tune, merrily, in 1958, a song called When, not to mention a bunch of other pop releases that came out on the Decca record label. But I found this odd release in the Amy label section when I was going through records. It was written by Bob Crew and Herb Bernstein, and of course, I'm talking about the Kalin twins, believe it or not, Herbie and Harold Kalin. This one from November of 1966. We go to Amy Records. These are the Kalin twins and their tune called Thinkin' About You, Baby.
The sun comes up,
Thinking about you, baby.
and the sun goes down.
Thinking about you, baby.
Dark till dawn,
Thinking about you, baby.
just go
Very interesting record there. Very interesting record for the Kalin Twins. The Kalin Twins, they're from, as John G loses his place, the Kalin Twins from November 1966. Boy, a far cry from their tune When on the Decca record label. They're called the Kalin Twins there. And from on Amy Records, a song called Thinking About You, Baby. Unfortunately, that Harold Kalin, he passed away on August 24th, 2005 in an auto accident. He was 71 years old. Now, Herbie, he died on July 21st, 2006 from a heart attack, unfortunately. 1 year older, was 72 years old. But we remember here on Vinyl Treasures and the Top Shelf Oldies as Johnny G loses his place here. Actually, I'm going to play a request here because I think it'll go right as I find the record here. Here we go, because Danny sent Johnny G an email. Actually, he didn't. He mentioned in my last 60s show, Danny asked me if I had a couple records, and I remembered it, and I started looking down in the No Humidity basement, and I did have one of the 45s. I didn't have the other one on United Artists, but I did have this 45 on the Kama Sutra record label. Malibu Blue, currently in the Top Shelf Oldies chat. I'm going to wish Danny a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Danny. We won't ask you what year it is, but this group formed in Providence, Rhode Island as the Vidells. They had a big number, they had a big, we'll call it New York hit though, a song called Mr. Lonely back in 1960 on the JDS record label. Then in 1962, they recorded on the Redbird record label a song called New York's a Lonely Town as the Trade Winds. And then they recorded for the Kama Sutra record label as the Trade Winds. And they also changed their name to the Innocents. And Danny requested the second of 5 on the Kama Sutra record label. And it's a B-side of the 45. And this one's from March of 67 on Kama Sutra by request for the birthday boy Danny. The Innocents with a tune called A Lifetime Loving You.
You just happened yesterday, and yet it seems you came my way before. Darling, I swear I felt your lips on mine at least 1,000 times or more. Darling, we walked in the sun and we laughed when it rained on our dreams. Now it's all coming true. I got you, girl, no wonder it seems. I spent a lifetime loving you. I spent a lifetime loving you.
By request for Malibu Blue, currently in the Top Shelf Oldies chart. Danny celebrating a birthday today. Those are the Innocents there on the Kama Sutra record label. That's a B-side from March 1967. Song entitled A Lifetime Loving You. Johnny G here spinning original vinyl 45s. We do it every Saturday right here from 10 to midnight on Top Shelf Oldies. And here is the rarest 45 I'll be featuring for this evening. A very rare record for this next singer that opened the door for thousands and thousands of preteen singers, not to mention the great harmonies his backup group provided him, that being the Teenagers, gave us under the tutelage of Richard Barrett and George Goldner. I'm talking about excuse me, folks, Frankie Lyman. I'm getting all choked up here. Frankie Lyman, but as he became older, and turmoil within the Teenagers, he became older, his voice changed, no longer having hits or the stardom he was used to. And then in 1964 he was arrested for drug possession, and then he joined the army and appeared to have kicked his drug habit when he was discharged from the army. But he got a new manager, goes by the name of Sam Bray, and he recorded two sides for Sam Bray's Big Apple record label. And we're going to give a spin to the A side of the 45, actually a very in-demand Northern Soul tune on Big Apple Records. This one from 1968. It's Frankie Lyman. Actually, they spell his name wrong. They spell it Lyman. I posted this one up on my Facebook wall. You can look at the label. Frankie Lyman and his All-Stars on Big Apple. And this was his final recording, a song called I'm Sorry.
And I love you the rest of my days. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. Hey, hey, come on, little mama, I'm sorry. Hey, hey, can you hear me? I'm so sorry. Hey, hey, pretty baby, I'm so sorry. All right, yeah, I'm sorry.
That is a pretty rare, in-demand Northern Soul tune, believe it or not, but that is the late Frankie Lyman. They spell his name wrong on the label. Lyman is how they spell it. John G. It's from 1968. It's on the Big Apple record label, song entitled I'm Sorry. Now, Bray would, as soon as Frankie recorded this song, his manager, this guy Sam Bray, would get Frankie a session with Roulette Records back to his label, Roulette Records. He was set for to record on February 29th, 1968. So in celebration, Frankie went on a drug binge, and the night before he OD'd, and they found him dead, and that was it, unfortunately. And then later in 1968, much later after his death, that the Sam Bray would put this 45 out. And it's a rare record on the Big Apple record label. I got to thank Barry Soltz, sold me this record a long time ago. He called me. I mean, he knew I was buying soul 45s. And this is not a 10-cent 45, folks. So it's an expensive record, a nice mint copy. And I'm happy to have played that one here for you, the Top Shelf Oldies listeners. John G here spinning his 1960s original vinyl 45 collection. Let's continue here. Let's flip over a record I played on the last 60s edition. I played the B-side of this 45 on the Vivid label, a song by Joe Murphy, a song called It's a Weakness. Now, Joe Murphy, he was the lead singer of the Five Jets from 1954, had releases on the Deluxe record label, plus other groups in the 50s, like and the early 60s, like the Voice Masters and the Five Stars, etc. But now let's flip the 45 over and give a listen to the intended A-side of the 45, which did chart regionally. This charted at number 30 on KDAY out of Los Angeles, California, and probably at the station at that time was Alan Freed. Alan Freed was a DJ on KDAY, Art LeBeau and Alan Freed there at that station. And I'm sure Alan was playing the Five Jets in 1954 here in New York on WINS. So here he is probably playing this side, which was number 30 on KDAY. June 65 for Joe Murphy on Vivid, a song called So Blue Without You.
Song plays on the radio. It once was a happy tune, but now, my dear, it hurts me so, makes me wanna get up and leave the room. And I'm so I'm so blue without you. I'm so blue, so blue. I never knew I'd miss you so, but now I wanna cry, just like that old saying goes, you never miss your water till you well run dry. I'm so blue, so blue, can't you see I'm blue now, darling? I'm so blue, so blue.
Bobber Boy Warren likes that tune. He definitely has similar taste to your host, Johnny G. Likes that tune. I really like that song. They're a great soul tune there by Joe Murphy. Joe Murphy there as John G loses his place. June 1965. It's on the Vivid record label. We've played that's the intended A-side of the 45. So Blue, parentheses, Without You. Great tunes here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue here for this soul jazz singer. Had two releases on the Verve record label. This is the second release, produced by George Kerr, arranged by Richard Teal, and goes back to September of 1967. Terry Bryant, I think this is a gal. Yes, Terri. I think that is the female. I'm pretty sure this is a female singer. Terri Bryan on the Verve record label. Let's give a listen to, this is the intended A side of the 45, a song called You'd Better Straighten Up and Fly Right.
I can be like a puff of smoke. Now you see me, now you don't, my baby. Oh, my baby. Like a rabbit in a magician's hat, I'll disappear just like that, my baby. You better believe it. This is it. You better straighten up, fly right, baby.
Out of your life,
This is it. Are you better?
straighten up,
Straighten up, fly right, like an eagle, baby. Out of your life. I can be like a piece of ice and I melt. Oh, baby, out of your life. You better dig me, baby. And I can be like a rocket ship and I'll take right off. You don't get hip now, honey. Oh, yeah. Now, yes, I will. This is it. You better
straighten up,
straighten up, fly right, baby.
out of your life,
Don't think you can play me cheap just because I've been so sweet. You can't have your cake and eat it too. And I can be like an old used car and I quit on you if you drop me too far now, baby. You better get hip to me. Like an eraser rocks on the pencil mark and I'll erase you, baby, out of my heart. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I will. This is it. You better
straighten up,
straighten up, fly right, like an eagle, baby.
out of your life,
Ooh, baby, come on in.
straighten up, fly right,
Just like an eagle,
out of your
I'm
life,
begging you, I'm pleading you to come on in.
straighten up, fly right,
Ooh, sugar,
out of your life,
I ain't lying this time. You really gotta, I said you really gotta straighten up, baby. I need you so badly.
straighten up, fly right,
I really want you to.
out of your life.
Just like an eagle, I'm gonna fly.
Nice tune there. Her name is Terri Bryan with an I. Terri Bryan, a great female soul singer there. September 1967, the second of two she recorded on the Verve record label. A song entitled, actually the full title in parentheses, it has You'd Better. Then it says Straighten Up and Fly Right. And she would later on join singer Bobby Wade in 1970 to form the group New Direction. And then later in 1978, she would join as a new member of the Fifth Dimension. Yes, she would. And that one, I must have had a vein of Barry Salt's 45s because he sold me that one too. Actually, this one, remember, because Johnny G gets a special discount because Johnny G buys in large quantities. But that one there was $25, all worth every bit of $25 in my opinion. Maybe that has gone up in price. You can check it out on Pop Psych or eBay. See what that record sells for now. I don't know. Maybe it has dropped in price. You never know with these records, like investing in the stock market. Anyway, Johnny G spinning 1960s original vinyl 45s out of my collection. Let's stay with the female soul singers now. And I'm sure you all know this next gal, as she was one of the founding members of the Supremes, the Motown Supremes. But she was fired. She was fired by Berry Gordy Jr. in 1967, and she went out on her own solo career. She had a couple of releases on the ABC Paramount record label, and this is her second release. Actually, she did an album on ABC Paramount. It was called The Supreme Florence, in quotes, Flow Ballad. As this tune was written by Van McCoy, produced by Bob Bateman. We go to October of 1968 for Flow Florence Ballad on the ABC Paramount record label. Give a listen to her tune. It's called Love Ain't Love.
Ooh, what good
this love in my heart. A heart ain't a heart and be shared. So come on, let me share it with you. Do all the things I've been longing to. Cause a bell and a bell until you ring it. A song and a song until you sing it. And baby, life ain't life until you live it. And love ain't love until you give it. No, no, no. Ooh, what good will it do me to dream of your kiss? A kiss ain't a kiss until you feel it. So come on, let me kiss your lips. Find all the joys and the thrills I miss. Cause a bell ain't a bell until you ring it. A song ain't a song until you sing it. Baby, life ain't life until you live it. And love ain't love until you give it. Oh, no, no. Ooh, what good does it do me to wish you were mine? Mine ain't mine until I got you. So come on, tell me you'll be mine right now, baby. Stop wasting time. Cause a bell ain't a bell until you ring it. A song ain't a song until you sing it. Baby, life ain't life until you live it. And love ain't love until you give it. Oh, no. I said a bell ain't a bell until you ring it.
It's too bad that that Berry Gordy Jr. did not feature her more as lead. Of course, Diana Ross in front for a lot of the earlier Supreme releases. I think she may have done a couple leads. Some of the B-sides are definitely some of the album cuts, but she really did have a great voice. Unfortunate there. But October 1968, Florence Ballard on ABC Paramount record label, song entitled Love Ain't Love. Unfortunately, that she passed away on February 22nd, 1976. She was only 32 years old. She died of a heart attack. We remember her here on Top Shelf Oldies and Vinyl Treasures. So let's continue here for another flip side from the last 60s edition. And this is the only 45 I have, a touch of the 70s. Yes, I do. For this singer, I featured this singer-songwriter from Cleveland, Ohio, the late Bobby Womack, and I played the B-side of this 45, which was his rendition of the Temptations' Don't Look Back. So let's give a spin to the A-side of the record, which is another cover of a song that was originally written and recorded by Sam Cooke, as this one charted regionally number 30. Actually was number 30 on the R&B chart, number 16 on KSOL out of San Francisco, California. We go back to July 1970 on Liberty Records for Mr. Bobby Womack and his rendition of the tune I'm Gonna Forget About You.
I'm gonna forget about you, oh baby. I'm gonna forget about you, driving me crazy. Listen, I couldn't sleep a wink all night long, waiting by my telephone. Said you called me about 9:45. Girl, you went somewhere and stood me up again. I don't know what you're gonna do, but if you stay, I'm gonna move. Oh, baby, I'm gonna forget about you. I made up my mind. I'm gonna forget about you. Listen, don't try to tell me that you're sorry. Oh, don't give me that same old line. I know for a fact, if I took you back, you make me lose my mind. Oh, I'm gonna forget about you. I'm so tired, I'm so tired.
in a deep blue sea. I ain't gonna do it, girl. I ain't gonna let you make a fool out of me. I don't know what you're gonna do. This is the way I see it. You're tired of me, and I'm so tired of you. I'm gonna forget about you. Put you down. I'm gonna forget about you. It's all over. Forget about you. I'm giving you your last chance. Forget about you. I give you
I hope you're digging on the soul tunes here for the 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. That is Bobby Womack. Bobby Womack, July 1970. That's the A side of the 45. Came out on the Liberty record label. A song called I'm Gonna Forget About You. No, John G's not gonna forget about you. Not on Saturday evenings from 10 to midnight. I'm right here doing my thing. This is the 60s edition, the last Saturday of every month. We go back to 1950s and early 60s next Saturday, although I think, I don't know if I'm going to have to miss the November 26th show or not. I have a birthday party out in Long Island, and I think it starts at 3 o'clock, so I have to see if I'll be able to get back. So I might not be able to do that November 26th, or that is the Thanksgiving day. That is the Thanksgiving weekend. It is. So I have to check. I have to call my brother. My niece is having her birthday. We don't really get to go out to Long Island that much, but we will be going. John G here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue as I lose my place here for where am I going? Where am I going here? Here we go, as I lose my place. We just heard Bobby Womack. Let's continue here with a flip side from the last 60s show. I featured an artist from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was a member of the Esquires. You know, they're big on hit Get On Up, you know, on the Bunky record label. But he was a member of that group, but they kicked him out because he was like joking around too much. He wasn't really serious when they were out performing. He wasn't serious, so they actually kicked him out of the group. But he recorded 2 releases on Lenny LaCour's Magic Touch label. And on the last 60th edition, we heard the A-side of his second release, a song called Too Late to Turn Back Now. But this is the B-side, and let's give it a spin before it goes back down in the No Humidity basement. It's on Magic Touch Records. It's from late 1967. It's Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor, give a listen to his song. It's called Put Me Down Easy.
I don't know why it should be, but lately I can plainly see you're cruel to me. Do what you wanna do, darling, all I ask of you. Put me down easy. Put me down. Wait another week or 2 before you tell me we are through. But when you do, try and do me just the same. This mountain's too big. Put me down easy. Put me down. Put me down easy, baby. Don't make it rougher, darling. Don't make me suffer. Just put me down easy. Put me down easy. Darling, don't you make me suffer, just put me down easy. Put me down. If you found somebody new, there is nothing I can do. But as you do, treat me as you as you would $1 million man. Put me down easy. Put me down. Put me down easy, baby. Don't make it rougher, darling. Don't you make me suffer, just put me down easy. Put me down. Put me down easy.
You collectors out there, you got to play both sides of your 45s. That one thing that I learned from my Aunt Mary when it comes to 45s, you test the records. Every time she would buy the records in the record store, she'd bring them in. Or if we had those jukebox 45s, we'd buy 25. She would buy 25 45s for $2. But it was pot luck. It was pot luck, and she would find so many great records. That's why, I mean, she wasn't the normal teenager. The normal teenager does not have 700 singles in their collection by no means. And through the years, from 1955 to at least the early 80s, she was buying 45s. Truly, truly amazing. I want to get her here up on the Vinyl Treasure Show to talk about the records and talk about her favorite records from the 1950s. Maybe I can bring out her, because she gave me all her 45s, or what was left of them, because I broke a lot of them, but she had a lot of soul singles. She really did. She loved a lot of the soul music, both the 50s and the 1960s. Let's continue here. Johnny G here. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime, and let's go to this. Actually, she started off as a gospel singer. She was from Philadelphia, PA. She started back in 1955 with the Davis Sisters that recorded for Herman Lubinsky's Savoy record label. They have a lot of records on the Savoy label, at least that gospel series, which is most of them are on the Blue label for you collectors out there. But she recorded some solo recordings. She started back in 1961 on the Peacock label, and she also has some on Decca. And here is one with the Decca subsidiary Coral Records, and she wrote this one. It was produced by Joe Medlin. We go to October of 1968 for Jackie Verdell. Jackie Verdell on Coral. You listen to her tune. It's called Call on Me.
If you really want somebody, call on me. Yeah. If you really need somebody, call on me. Don't hesitate. After a while, it may be too late. Time is precious, so why wait? Call on me. If you want to talk to somebody, call on me. If you want to walk with somebody, call on me. Yeah. Ring me up, it's just a dime. Night or day or any old time. There's nobody on my line, call on me. You ought to call on me. You ought to call on me. You ought to call on me. Why don't you call on me? Everything is wrong, really uptight. Call on me. Yeah. A little bit of love will make it right. Call on me. I'll be your girl, your woman too. I'll do anything for you. I'll even turn gray skies blue. Call on me. If you really want me, you ought to call on me. You ought to call on me. You ought to call on me. Why don't you call on me? I know that you need me. I know that I need you. I know that you want me. I know that you want me.
October 68 release there from Miss Jackie Verdell. Jackie Verdell on the Coral record banner. Her tune called Call on Me. Well, you can call on me for a Saturday evening right here on Top Shelf Oldies. We are currently in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. So let's continue here for this a singer that grew up in the New Jersey, New York area, started singing at age 13, had 2 releases on Vivian Carter's VJ record label back in 1963, but then he signed with Morris Levy's Roulette record label, had 3 singles on the Roulette label, and later on in his career he moved out to California and he became a gospel singer and joined the James Cleveland Singers. But he caught the attention of Paul Anka, who signed him as a backup singer. He also backed up the likes of Herbie Hancock, Cat Stevens, and he is still singing today as a successful gospel singer. So with all that, here is his 3rd release on the Roulette record label, written by Robert Poindexter. As we go back to July of 1966, it was also arranged by Horace Ott, and this charted regionally number 45 on WJMO out of Cleveland, Ohio, on the Roulette label. His name is Wayne Anthony. Wayne Anthony with a song called G is for Girl. That's Mr. Wayne Anthony. Wayne Anthony there, his 3rd single on Morris Levy's Roulette record label. July 1966, G is for Girls, and also G is for Johnny G, as I spin my original vinyl every Saturday right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Hope you're digging on these cool 60s sounds out of my collection. And let's continue here. Actually, I feature this next singer a lot on my 1950s show. Actually, I think I played on the last 50s show, or the one before, I played a 45 by the Pastels, Been So Long, because he's the lead singer of the Pastels. DeFosco Irvin, as is his name, also known as Big D Irvin, from Harlem, New York, the lead singer of the Pastels. And his first solo record came out on the Hull record label. His biggest hit as a soloist was a number 38 Billboard hit, if you recall, Swingin' on a Star, with a Little Eva. Did that in 1963 on the Dimension record label. And here is one on the Imperial record label. The first of 5 he recorded on the Imperial, and this is the A-side of the 45. This one charted regionally, number 24 on WINW out of Canton, Ohio. We go back to May of 1968, 10 years after his Been So Long by the Pastels, and give a listen to D. Irwin on Imperial. Actually changed his name, Irvin Irwin, later on, and a song called I Only Get This Feeling. That one there from May 1968, D. Irwin. Originally, his real name was DeFosco Irvin Jr., but he recorded under different names, two different names, D. Irwin there. On Imperial Records, song entitled I Only Get This Feeling. Unfortunately, that he died August 27th, 1995. Passed away from heart failure. We remember here on Vinyl Treasures and Top Shelf Oldies. Let's continue with a little bit more here of Vinyl Treasure overtime for this musician, songwriter, and producer from Thomaston, Georgia, known for his outlandish outfits and big white pompadour. Known as the White Knight of Soul, is best known for writing Last Kiss in 1961, but first recorded for the Scotty label back in 1959, and he had other releases on the Air label, on Confederate, Deck, King, Mercury, Epic, and this one that I'm featuring on Leonard Chess's Chess record label, actually 3 on Chess. This is his third, written by Bobby Sims and Abner Spector. Let's go back to August of 1968 for Mr. Wayne Cochran. Wayne Cochran on Chess, and his tune called Up in My Mind. That's Wayne Cochran. Wayne Cochran on the Chess record label, the third of 3 releases on Chess Records. August 1968 sound there, song entitled Up in My Mind. Yeah, Johnny G tries to... Barbara calls me the Rain Man of 45s. Yes, she does, when she tells all her friends. And so they were like, so you have a record collection? I said, yeah. Well, how many records you got? A couple thousand? I said, yeah, well, tack on a few zeros onto that as I go bonkers with all these records all over the place. Let's continue for a little bit more here for this 8-piece group. out of Greenwood, South Carolina, formed in 1966 when two members of the Swingin' Medallions joined the Six Tassels, and they became the Pieces of Eight. The Pieces of Eight. Now, they had a somewhat of a hit. It was only number 59 on the Billboard charts of the OJ's, a cover of the OJ's tune Lonely Drifter. But this is the third of three that they recorded on the A&M record label. This is a Dan Penn, Spooner Oldham penned tune. And this one charted regionally number 19 on WVOK out of Birmingham, Alabama. It features Ronnie Hicks on vocals. This one from February 1968 for the Pieces of Eight on A&M. Give a listen to their tune. It's called Party Time.
There's a party going on. Come on over. Come on over. Now if you sit at home all alone, come on over. Come on over. But baby, it's going around. Everybody's back in town. Let this room for you. Come on over. Come on over. And you ease that well. Come on over. Come on over. And even your troubles behind. Come on over. Come on over. There's a party going strong. Till the crack of dawn. You better not wait too long. Come on over. Come on over. But if you really wanna have some fun, come on over. But party time has just begun. Come on over. Come on over. Gonna meet ourselves in the morning. We're gonna meet ourselves at noon. We're gonna meet ourselves in the morning. But right now, yeah, it's still the night. Yeah, there's a party going on. Come on over. Come on over. Sit at home all alone. Come on over. Come on over. But baby, it's going around. Everybody's back in town. They room for you. They have for you. Now come on over. Come on over. Come on over. Come
We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime here on the 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. That is the Pieces of Eight. The Pieces of Eight from February 1968. We go to A&M Records for that one. Song entitled Party Time. Ronnie Hicks on lead for that one. They also became the Bits and Pieces in 1970. Yes, they did. We'll go for a few more here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Up next, a soul singer from Detroit, Michigan. His real name was Marvin Jones, but he used the stage name of Jack Montgomery. And this is an in-demand Northern Soul tune. Not as expensive. It is expensive, but not as expensive as the Frankie Lyman one I played earlier. This one's on Florence Greenberg's Scepter record label. Tune written by Marvin Jones and Don Mancha. And this one charted regionally on number 17 on WBEE up in Chicago, Illinois. It's from July of 66. I just posted this on my Facebook wall. Those of you tuning in to hear the song. It's by Jack Montgomery. Jack Montgomery on Scepter. Give a listen to his tune. It's called Dearly Beloved.
I'm writing this
just to let you know things ain't getting no better. If you found somebody new, then there's nothing I can do. But if you're playing a hurting game, come on home, I'm in pain. Darling dear, I'm only a man. And sometimes things can be rather hard to understand. But now I see the light, and I'm sorry if I hurt you. See the tear stains on the tide, they're proof that I still love you. Dear love, but now I see the light, and I'm sorry if I hurt you. See the tear stains on the tide, they're proof that I still love you. Baby, before you think about the shape I'm in and the tears that I cry. But if you find that it's no good, then you ain't out really. Then I've got to keep on trying. No other girl will ever do. My sweet baby.
July 1966 release there, Florence Greenberg's Scepter record label. That's Jack Montgomery, an in-demand Northern Soul tune there. Song entitled Dearly Beloved. Let's continue with a little bit more. I haven't featured many garage tunes for this evening. We're going to go to one right now for this band out of New York. This one produced by Dave Rick. Don't know much about this one. Charlene nor I could find any information. Maybe my buddy Dave the Rave knows about this group. It's from June of 1967. They're called the Henchmen. There are a lot of different groups known as the Henchmen, and don't know which one this is because I looked in one of the garage books I have and it didn't have this 45, so maybe you know who this Henchman group is. It's on United Artists. Give a listen to their tune. It's called Never Reached Your Heart.
To be a part of you, I really try. In doing so, I even lost my pride. I love you much too much, lost my your tender touch.
Two more 45s to go before Johnny G signs off here. Those are the Henchmen. Losing my voice. I had the flu shot this week at work, actually on Thursday, so I'm feeling okay. A little bit tired, but anyway, those are the Henchmen. The Henchmen from June 1967. United Artists Records, song entitled "Never Reached Your Heart." So let's continue with two more 45s for this group out of Los Angeles, California. They were discovered by the band manager of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Bill McEwen, and proposed they record a single entitled Up, Up and Away, which would have been released had not the Fifth Dimension released it and had a top 10 version of the tune. So this became the debut single for this group. It's the first of 7 they recorded on the Imperial record label. This charted at number 50 on Billboard, but this was a big number 1 record on WSAM out of Saginaw, Michigan. And there was another band called the Blades of Grass. They were out of New Jersey. They released a cover of the same song around the same time on Jubilee, and it did not as good. It was only number 87 on Billboard. But this tune, written by Tony Michaels and Vinnie Gorman, arranged by George Tipkin, and it features Mary Nance and Maury Mazzino on lead. So let's give it a spin here from June of 1967. They're called the Sunshine Company. This is on Imperial. This is the original version, a song called Happy.
Happiness is when I'm near you, to share your smile if I love to. Happy's the day I found you. Happy's the world around you. I'll never cry as long as we're together. My happiness is you. Happy's the way I love you. Happy's just thinking of you. I found the lifetime of pleasure, a hidden treasure in the happiness of you. You're the girl I wanna marry. You're the girl that makes me happy. Happy's our lives together. Happy's our love forever. What more in life could you give me? Happy is the day all my life with you. Happiness is when I'm near you, to share your smile if I love you. Happy's the day I found you. Happy's the world around you. Happy's the way I love you. Happy's just thinking of you. Happy's our lives together.
They like that one there in the top shelf oldies chat room. Whoop, did I shut that off? Yes, I did. Anyway, that's a cool tune there. Nice sunshine pop sound by the Sunshine Company, June 1967 on the Imperial record label, and a song called Happy. And hopefully I made you happy this evening listening to some cool 60s records out of my collection. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. And I hope you enjoyed yourself. Thank you for listening. Been recording this show for the Ustream broadcaster, and I've been having trouble loading them back up on YouTube. Don't know what the issue is. I'm kind of okay with the copyright issues. They're still blocking it in Germany for some reason, but also recording it. You can for my vinyltreasures.net website, and you can go there. Hi-Fi Tim also has all the hot buttons you can click to go to all those locations. You can stream or download the show if you want to go back and listen to the tunes. And we're going to close the show this evening with a as I lost my place with his group out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We go back to Florence Greenberg's Scepter record label. This group recorded on different labels: Rita, Zebra, Dominant, Summertime Sounds, all these weird labels. But they recorded this one in the Bradley studio in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was written by group member Tom Pyler, but the lead singer is Tom Black, and he sounds a lot like Frankie Valli. And this one's from February of 1967. It's on Scepter Records. This one charted number 10, was a big number 10 on WGEM out of Quincy, Illinois. They're called the Catalinas. The Catalinas on Scepter with a song called You Haven't the Right, but you do have the right to tune in to Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show every Saturday. I enjoyed bringing you the tunes this evening, and I hope you dug on all the tunes. And tune in to my buddy tomorrow evening starting at 9 p.m. My buddy Dave the Raven, his Relics and Rarities, 9 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies. That's going to do it, folks. Charlene, thanks for all your help with the research. Much appreciated. Couldn't do it without you. And I'm glad you folks enjoyed the show tonight. Send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com if you dug the tunes tonight. First-time listeners or have a request, much appreciate the emails I have been receiving. That's going to do it, folks. I'll see you here next Saturday evening with my 1950s and early 60s show. So everybody have a great remainder of the week. Just want to say, everybody, so long.